display mode. We'll keep the videos on. We can discuss things as we go forward. But welcome to the call. So again, in our series of webinars, today we're talking about an important topic, scorecards, keeping track and keeping us on a focus, on point, and bringing in a bit of competition as well. I'll discuss what that means, particularly within L180 with Nicky and I. But before I do that, welcome to the call, and obviously we've got Nicky on the call as well. So Nicky, do you want to say a few things?
Yeah. So running a small business on your own, you're juggling like 6-7 different hats, right? You got to work 6-7 different departments, and it's challenging to manage it. It actually gets, it gets a little bit easier as you build a team, but you just have to learn different skills. But the easiest way to do it when you're on your own and you're just trying to build a team is to keep a scorecard, right? It sounds really simplistic, but actually, how many small business owners actually do this? Because you're so busy, you don't actually spend 5-10 minutes actually tracking what you do. So using a scorecard massively helps. And this is what me and Andrew have used with our company for a long time now, right? Because when we started this company, we started just me and him, right? We didn't have a team, and we were pushed back into doing a bit of everything, right? Without keeping score, without tracking it, things actually did get left behind. So what we're going to show you today is a very, very simple system that allows you to make sure that you work on every single department on your business until you get enough money and time to leverage yourself out of different positions.
Yeah, I want to add to that as well, guys, that, hey, we're not perfect. We fall off the cliff at times as well. But I think the benefits we have, we're a partnership, so we're able to have each other support one another, get us back on point and things. But, there's so much, as Nicky said, that we have to deal with a business that it's very easy to get sucked into doing work as opposed to on the business. And that's why, we're mindful of it ourselves, that it's important to continue to grow and scale your business, get it systemized. That we wanted to share one of the tools that we look to do that, to see if it's something that can help each and every one of you as well. But it says on the slide here that look, success comes from a strong foundation. We need to know what our targets are. We need to know what goals that we're looking to stride towards. And then I guess the missing link a lot of the time is consistency. People start out, they'll block some time in their calendar to work on their business, but then something else crops up, or another client wants you bring on a new client and they want a particular time slot, and you pass control to them. Suddenly they're asking to train in a time that you had allotted to working on your business, and suddenly you're back in technician mode in the business as opposed to one. So we need consistency, and we need to retain control of our time. That goes in line with anything we do. And if we can do that steady each week in, week out, we'll find that we'll race forward so much quicker.
I would say keeping laser focused is absolutely key, as Andrew was saying. How many times do you try and aim for some goals, and then you get a little bit and you hit the first wall, and then you change your goals, right? So I think the saying is always keep the goal a goal. Always keep the goal a goal, right? And as Andrew was saying, that having some KPIs or metrics to measure your journey or your progress towards that goal is absolutely critical. Think about how you do with your clients, right? If someone wants to lose weight, you'll tend to weigh them, right? If they want to lose body fat, you'll tend to do body fat tests every so often, right? Someone wants to build a habit of exercise, you measure how many workouts they do in a week, right? So there's KPIs along the way. Your business is no different.
So we're putting it together. I've got a working title of it. It's the L180 Business 6x6 Success Matrix. It's not actually a matrix, to be fair, when I think about it. But hey, this is version 1. It's going out as we always say, get it out there. You can tweak, measure, improve as you go along. But we put it together as a way of, systemizing the business for ourselves, helping holders accountable, and adding, we both love sport, so adding that competitive edge to see, as you'll see when I share the tools in a little while. There's a way of seeing who can win, who can be top of the league for that particular week. So again, a number of you guys are solo operators, but by sharing it within the L180 inner circle group, we can potentially set up a league table to a degree, or even just at the very least help hold you accountable so that you can get things moving forward and you can spend more productive time on your business as opposed to in it, because that's the key going forwards. So basically, it's called the 6x6 system because there's 6 daily steps and there's 6 weekly steps. And I say steps, it could be tasks, projects, or whatever you want to call them, but there's 6 items we look at daily and 6 weekly. Now, step 1 in the daily 6 is looking to add to your list. We need primary focus in growing your database, growing your list. Now, that might be your email list. It might be your Facebook list, but it's growing that network of people who get to know, like, and trust you so that you can connect with them, you can engage with them, and you can build that relationship with them. So at whatever point in time that they can raise their hands and say, hey, Vito, Nigel, whoever, tell me more about what you do. I'm interested to see how you can help me overcome a particular issue I've got. Now, I've put here that aiming to 2 to 3 personal contacts. Now, this isn't clients, this is just people that we meet. So we want to be, and this is, I guess, where, we've said it time and time before, getting out there, just meeting people, talking to people, going for a coffee, going for some lunch, going to a networking event, being in front of people so you can communicate with them. We're going to get so much more success in doing that as opposed to sitting behind a computer screen. You can talk to them, find out a little bit about them. They may give you their business card if they're in business. They may just be interested in, and you can then say, hey, I've got something, a handout which will help you on that particular health and fitness topic. If you want to just give me your email address, so I can ping that over to you. So there's little tips and strategies that we can look at there. Do you want to share, Nicky, tactics you've used in the past to add contacts to our list?
Think about it like this, guys, right? Think about, this is where your numbers come in handy. Nigel, if I start with you, right? Your target market is everyone based in your gym at the moment, right? And so if you knew for every 100 people on your list, 2 definitely converted into clients, then you kind of know how big your list needs to be to get X amount of clients. Does that make sense, right? So then my next thing would be, okay, how am I going to make that many contacts? Or how am I going to get that many people onto my list, whether it be Facebook, whether it be email, CRM, whatever that might be. And then I'm going to figure out a strategy to hit that number, right? So when I have numbers, I'm not aiming. So I know if I've got to get to, let's say, 100 in 1 month, then I know I need to do, if my maths is right, 3.5 per day, right? For 30 days, right? So I'm going to say, okay, it's 3.5 a day. What do I need to do, right? To get that many leads, right? And that's how, you see how like your numbers then create your strategy for you. And that's all I used to do in Market Harborough when I had my studio, right? I kind of knew for every X amount of leads, I seemed to get this many contacts, this many consults, this many trials. And from there, I knew how I got this many clients. So I just made a number. Here's what I didn't want to do, right? I'm generally a lazy guy, okay? But I'll work when I need to work, right? So I want to do as minimal amount of work that I need to do to get the money in the business that I want to get, right? So I didn't try to make 7 or 15. I just tried to do my 3.5, right? That's what I would, that wasn't my exact numbers, but that's all I would do. And as Andrew was saying, I didn't sit behind my computer. Okay, I was out there in the community. Social media wasn't as good as it is now, but I was just getting out there in the community, and I got to know all the business owners, right? So for me, building strategic alliances was my number one tool to build my list, and I was using other people's lists to build my own list, right? As you start to get to know people in your community, for you, Nigel, this will be in your gym, right? Vito, for you, you're going to be in the community. You'll be amazed how easy it is to generate leads or build your list from, just because everyone wants to know about fitness. It's funny, like sometimes you're having a beer and then they ask you, how do I get fit, right? That happens all the time, right? And yeah, it happens to all of us. Everyone's interested in fitness. That doesn't mean they're going to buy, all right? But it happens at the craziest places, right? Like I said, always at the pub. Like hardly go pub anymore, right? But back in the day, I used to, like, that's when like everyone would ask you. I'm like, wow. And by the end of the night, we'd be talking about fitness. Like after 3 or 4 beers, it's like, okay, maybe I need to talk to you about this another time, right? So it's like everyone's interested in that subject, all right? To us, because we're in it all the time, you kind of forget how interested other people are, how much they don't know compared to how much we do know, right? So just to cut a long story short, I want you to think of a strategy right now, right? So let's go with you, Nigel. Okay, we've worked out how much money you're aiming to make by the end of the year. You know how many clients you need. You've booked your calendar out, right? So realistically, how big does your list need to be, and how would you go about making them contacts day in, day out?
Yeah. So I think for the email list, I probably need, again, it depends on how many would convert, but I guess if you're saying 2 or 3 people might convert out of every 100 people, then if I had like a goal of maybe kind of 80 to 100 people per month on my email list, then that would convert to maybe 2 to 3 new clients per month. Strategy wise, I could possibly put something up in the gym, like a lead magnet in the gym, like for a free ebook to download or something like that, or just maybe you could just go around chatting to people in the gym and asking them about their goals and stuff like that, and then offering them a body fat guide or something like that, so I get their email address.
You know what we talked about on the last webinar, like the health MOT, right? You want to make them an offer that they can't refuse, right? You know, like it has to be so irresistible. You know what I mean? It has to be so strong. Like that's why that MOT works, right? Because you're able to give them all the details about their health, and most of them are going to be pretty bad, right? Most of them are going to have like blood pressure issues, or body fat's going to be too high. So these are serious health issues, right? So then the offer of health becomes a lot more appealing to them. Now, if someone's all right, in good shape, then that health MOT is going to show them good. They're probably not going to take up PT, right? So think about what offer you can offer them that's irresistible. That's like too good to turn down, right? And that's a good way to kind of build a list, right? Vito, what about yourself?
I was on mute.
Oh. I say like building it. Just going back on Nigel, right? I use that number.
I heard Nigel, but you couldn't hear me because my daughter is watching cartoons. I don't want her to be in the background.
I don't say them numbers are all hypothetical, right? So you could actually have 10 people on a list and convert 5. You don't know until you actually test it. All right. So don't base your business on anyone else's business and numbers. You've got to test this for yourself. Okay. I
would say if it's referred client, the conversion rate is probably 80%, 85 even maybe.
Yeah.
The hardest thing for me personally, is like to get the people from the email list actually to come to the sessions.
Yeah.
So, but once it's referred client, it's most likely he will be like my client as well. So for me, that's the hardest thing. So I don't know, like from the list, let's say if from 51 turns up in the sessions, actually that's a good turnout.
Yeah, let me stop you there, right? You said this is what you said to me, right? Like 80% conversion for those people that refer to you. Right? So my question back to you be like, okay, how can you maximize that? How can you get more people to refer people to your list? Do you know what I mean? And then talk to that.
I still need to get new people because now I ran this after New Year, like a referral contest where you get like called 21 to 21, and like if someone gets the referral, they would get like the referred person's £21 back from the membership.
Yeah.
And I felt like people run out of referrals as well. It's like, but now I have a couple new people who are already referring, you know what I mean? So once you get 3 new, they get another 3 new. So that's the thing. It's like, it's connected to each other. Once you stop getting new members, so you sort of run out of referrals. But once at least you got through one person in, new person, you can get another 3 referrals. So, you know, it's like never-ending process.
Yeah, no, of course. I used to use a system for like I tried to get 1 referral out of every client, you know, but the reality is 20% of my clients referred 80% of my business. You know, that was the reality of it, right? 20% of my clients referred 80% of my business, right? You need to figure out who those people are and work those people for referrals, right? Yeah, just going back to what Andrew was saying about how do you add contacts to your list? It's a different problem. How do you convert people from your list to actually getting people onto your list, right? They're 2 different things, right? But the fact that people are on your list means that they're a step closer than someone who isn't on your list, right? So for daily step number 1 is really don't think about the conversion, think about how do I add more people onto my list, right? 1 to 2. The conversion, there's a number of strategies we can use over time to try and like make that more efficient, right? The bottom line is we can't sell to anyone. They have to be ready to buy. Okay, we're only using that list to position ourselves so when they are ready to buy, they'll come to us.
I think for Nigel as well, and anybody that's working in a gym environment, my experience, certainly recently, Nicky and I have been out reviewing some gyms over time. And most trainers are lazy. You know, they're sat behind the reception desk if they're not got a client in or whatever, and they're idly chatting to one another, flicking through a magazine or on Facebook, looking at their phone, and that they're not walking the floor. And that, to me, if you're enthusiastic, entrepreneurial, and looking for success, which anyone part of L180 is that person, then getting out and just not even trying to sell, just talking to people and showing that you care puts you at leaps and bounds ahead of anybody else. And then that, you know, if they've got a question, who are they going to come to talk to? So it's going to be you, Nigel. You can then build upon that with, hey, I'm actually running a health MOT, as Nicky said, or you can say, hey, I've actually put a little survey together just to find out a bit more about how we can help improve things and what potential services we can offer. So there's lots of different ways that we can look to utilize it. But as we say, this is about getting them on the list, to just talking to people and looking to give value first. We'll be able to get their contact details.
It's much easier to build a list in a gym than it is outside a gym, right? Once you got your own studio or your own place, then it's a different playing field when it comes to marketing, build a list. When I was in the gym or any gym, walking the floor was all you needed to do. You know, it's just you master that strategy. How do you build contacts from walking the floor? You know, that's it.
It might start out with a high five or just say, hey, how's things? Great to see you again. And that's it. The next day it'll be something else. How'd you get on? And so on. And it builds from there. So it's building that trust just as whenever you're meeting somebody new, for sure. But that's step 1. So we're looking at adding contacts to our list. Step 2 is obviously more so relevant these days, is making sure that we're getting posts put up on our social media, on our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever whichever platform where you're based, where your target audience is. Now, generally, Facebook, because of the sheer size of it, we should all have positioning on there, but then we look at elsewhere as well if needs be. Now, I say I'm toing and froing on this because I feel that, you know, some people saying put 2, 3, 5, 10 pieces of posts per day to look to get the reach that we need and to be able to get that visibility. Nicky and I were talking about it this morning. We would prefer quality over quantity. So rather than thinking, oh my God, I need to post something today, I'm gonna put it up and put it out there. We suggest spending a bit of time and again being consistent. So let's say you choose you're going to post on a Monday, a Thursday, and say a Saturday, or a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and at a given time, let's say 7 p.m., knowing that the post is going to most likely be near the top of somebody's newsfeed when they sit down to get ready to watch. I think what's on at 7 o'clock on a weekday night. Be one of the soaps, Emmerdale or EastEnders or something like that. So they're idly looking through Facebook, and you've got more likelihood of being there. And if they know that your post is going to turn up at a given time, then there's more chance of them getting to see it, liking it, getting onto your newsfeed, and so on. But the key with step 2 is that, hey, we've got social media. We need to utilize that as much as we can. We need to build awareness of who we are, awareness of our personal brands, and awareness of our business brands as well, and associating the two. And what I mean by personal and business is that people will get to know, like, and trust me as an individual, Andrew Wallace, but then they see that I'm associated and I own Lifestyle 180. So when they see the two brand names, then they make a connection. And then when they see Lifestyle 180, they know it's my business, so that then they can go forward and move forward on that. I'll start with you, Nigel. Do you post regularly on social media?
Yeah, probably not regular enough, to be honest. I used to post on my Facebook page, nearly almost daily, but I haven't really, since the reach went down on my Facebook page, I haven't really bothered with it as much. I have a Facebook group where I have maybe like 100 people in there, and I post there a bit more often. And recently I've started using LinkedIn as well. I'm starting to use LinkedIn a bit more now as well. Cool. And then I email my list in. I have a kind of relatively small email list, but I email them probably every, maybe once or twice a week as well.
Okay. Well, certainly with a group, as we know with Facebook, with the announcements they made, they're looking at moving back to what it was originally set up for, as a community-based platform where, your friends can go on and chat with one another, see what everybody's up to. And within groups, we're able to build a group around a particular topic, i.e. health and fitness, where we can deliver great content through video, through infographics, through motivational pieces and that, so that we can encourage people to enjoy and learn, and we can demonstrate in things as well. With the news feed, it's going to become more challenging, but again, through consistency and again being on point, we can play the game that Facebook wants us to play. And what I mean by that is that if we know that if we see a particular topic, or there's an actual event coming up, or there's a national, let's say National Heart Day. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but there's a health events day, like certainly there's World Cancer Day. If we know when that day comes, and then we post something about how exercise or good nutrition can help slow down the process, improve our health, combat illness, and it's aligned with that, then that's called piggybacking. And Facebook will see that we're talking about a topic. That day is that national day for that topic, then we can get greater reach that way. Plus, again, if we're on point and we deliver good quality, and good quality going forward, it more so is going to be getting in front on Facebook Live and doing video, to be honest, over text, then we can grow on that. Just on that, Nigel, roughly how many likes have you got or followers have you got on your general news feed?
On my Facebook page, is it?
Yeah.
At the moment, it's about, not many, it's a bit short of 500, I think about 450.
Okay. I've seen some strategies where they suggest that we look to aim to get up to about 5,000 because then it becomes self-perpetuating. And there's ways that we can do that. I was talking it through with Vito this morning about, just building awareness. And a simple strategy for that, or two strategies, are any good, well, not any good, every post we do should be good, but boosting it for like £1 to a particular audience. Now, you might do an audience in and around the gym. So let's say, a 5 mile radius, or you might do an audience of people who like your page and their friends. So because Facebook, the phrase they use is they want us to pay to play. So we get a greater reach, not a huge reach, but we get a greater reach when we invest some money into it. And you can do it for as little as £1 for a day. That'll get you an extra few hundred people that see your page. But if it's a topic that interests them, then they could like that. They can like your page, and then they're going to see more of your content going forward. The other one is doing a likes campaign. So again, it would be doing an ad to a particular audience that encourages them not to buy anything from you, but just to like your page. Because again, we can build on that. They start seeing more content and so on and so forth. And the more followers we have, obviously, the greater reach we can get organically. And I would suggest then our strategy should be to get them from your newsfeed into your private group, because that's where the real gold would be. I know we discussed a bit of this, Vito, this morning, but is there anything you want to add on that, or anything you want to discuss on that particular point?
I noticed then if I run the paid ads, the likes numbers increase. If it's even not necessarily let's say the ad with the landing page where I want to connect the leads. So if I have lead magnet, this is where the likes increased. So it's not necessarily likes campaign, but people just click, and then even if they don't want to put the email, they still put the like. You know what I mean? So
yeah, Facebook are clever then, and it grates me somewhere along the lines, because they have so much information, so many metrics on particular things. So if we were to say that we want people to like our page, they direct it to people who they know will click like. But if we wanted more than that, so that we wanted people to engage or perhaps potentially invest in the offer that we send out, well, that we have to tell Facebook we've got a different strategy in mind. We want a different outcome. So they would then send it to a totally different demographic of people. So it may not go to people who would just like, it goes to people who actually go that next step and actually take action. So Facebook is, and that's why there's so many people who offer services for Facebook advertising, because it's an ever-changing playing field. And as Vito told me on the call earlier, Nigel, he spent 2 hours working through trying to get an ad sorted in that. So it can be a source of frustration. But what we want more eyeballs seeing us. So we have to play. The final bit on that is I've found, and this goes in line with what you were saying, Vito, in that I'll have people liking it. I found that if I do a boosted post, let's say I did it for, say, 3 days. So let's say I did like a £15 total budget, £5 per day. I'll get potentially, it'll get seen by maybe 500-600 people, and so many people like it. But if I did it for a week, so it's still £15, but it's spread over a week as opposed to 3 days, I get slightly less, well, sometimes significantly less reach than what I did over the 3 days, but I get more engagement. So people have actually commented or shared. So I don't know if that's something that I've just experienced myself, or whether that's something that is as part of the game. That's my finding. So I'm researching that a little bit more as we go forward. I'll let you know how we go on that. But the key with step 2 is that we're making an effort to get visibility on social media. So it might be on Facebook, it might be a LinkedIn post, it might be an Instagram, it might be a tweet or whatever. But at least if we're getting some good quality pieces out there, then that's a way forward, because again, it gives visibility. Okay.
Yes, boss.
Right, step 3. Again, I suppose I gave you a bit of an overview earlier, just thinking of it coming through here, is one thing that I used to do was I'd be sending out cards to people, a little greeting card. It might be to a client. Let's say they achieved a particular goal. Then it was, hey, well done on achieving your goal. It might be someone I haven't seen for a while and go, hey, just touching base. Thought I'd think to say hello. I was talking about a particular topic, and it reminded me of a particular experience. Case in point was that I was out over Christmas. I was seeing friends. We were talking about a friend who lived abroad now, and we were talking about a picnic we went on. Picnic that we went on back in the day, and so that prompted me to send a note out to that person, and it dropped on in their letterbox, and it made their day. It's the best part of their day. So if their personal trainer or their fitness coach is doing that, sending stuff out to them, then that means a lot to them. They'll talk about that. If it's sent to their office, it sits on their desk, and someone else said, hey, my personal trainer isn't doing that. And so on and so forth. So those unexpected cards. It might be an unexpected phone call, just picking up the phone. Although I've got that a little later, but just going out of our way, that little thing. And it's an investment, but being in business it needs investment for us to drive forward. And just a little card goes a long way. Vito, have you ever sent cards out to clients or people?
I sent only for Christmas, For Christmas.
Christmas. It's unexpected to a degree, but Christmas is an event, so I like these. I call them unexpected because it's outside of these windows. So certainly for clients, I send birthday cards. I've sent birthday cards. I've sent Christmas cards, but these were, as I say, unexpected, out of the norm. Because if you think about it, if something drops in the mail, generally it's a bit of junk mail or it's a bloody bill. But if someone sees a card and it's not their birthday, that's what's the first thing that's going to get opened. And as I say, it can make their day. How about you, Nigel? Have you ever looked at that this process?
Before I've sent out Christmas cards before, but I don't think I've ever actually sent out anything just unexpectedly, as you said. So that's probably something I could do as well.
The very least, although it won't have the same impact as a Facebook message, I would say a card would be the best way forward. A phone call would be my second choice. Facebook message or WhatsApp or something third, but as we go down the list, the impact decreases. So cards certainly will stand out for sure. Step 4 is we're recommending, we're making it a real goal to make our group much more vibrant, to give much more support, and that's on both Nicky, myself, and Dee as well. To do that, we need to lead from the front. But we're recommending, look, any questions outside of your coaching call, we've got a great core group of members. Nigel, you've not had the chance yet to see the masterminds in action. Vito was at the last one, but to me, don't get me wrong, I love my coaching calls and things like that, but meeting up in person and that, and having that community, that group together, and being able to chat, ask questions, and brainstorm as a collective unit, it's powerful. And we want to emulate that within the Inner Circle page. So if outside of your calls, of course, contact Nicky or myself with a question, but post within the group as well. Share any particular successes you have, and things, so that we can all help one another grow, and then we can use the group as a platform, as an area where we can store and share successes, but also challenges as well, because as you know, it's lonely being a business owner out there, where you're dependent on yourself. Yes, we have friends and we have family members who support us, but at times they don't know the full ins and outs, and we can't have particular conversations with them. They want to help, but they help in other ways. So let's look at using that. So we're looking at having a post. I've got it in the daily. It doesn't have to be daily, of course, but again, as you'll see with the scorecard in a second or two, that you'll see how it plays out. Step 5, I'm a big believer that when I don't focus on what my goals are, and then reviewing my progress on a daily basis, I lose track of where I am, and it might be bright shiny object, or it might be just getting lost in activity, but you don't become as efficient and as effective as you can be. So step 5 on a daily basis is looking at just tracking and measuring. And that might be, the way I do it is looking at the end of the day. I'll sit down, I'll grab my my notes, and I'll grab my diary, checking that I've done everything I needed to, any urgent matters that needed to be done. I'm looking at my weekly to-do and ticking off the bits that I had down on that. And then I'm looking and planning for the next day to make sure I've got everything in place, what coaching calls I might have, what workshop or speaking gig or article I need to write for some of the publications I write for, and I just make sure that I've got it in my mind so I know what my day ahead is. Then at the weekend, I do on a Sunday, I call it plan, shop, prepare. I'm not shopping per se, but that was the phrase I used to use with my clients when I was in a PT. But I'll look at reviewing again how the previous week went, what my monthly goals are, and then setting down what I needed to achieve, what are the big rocks I need to move that particular week. So it's all about daily and weekly and monthly goals. Nigel, do you do that sort of thing for yourself in the business?
Yeah, it's something I do as well. I review my goals. Probably not every day, but I got one of those planners. I actually have it here. It's called a Panda planner,
Okay.
and that's a handy one because it has like kind of month, weekly, and daily. So it's kind of like a scheduler as well, and then you can review on a week-to-week basis, and then you can put your goals down for the month and stuff like that as well. So I find that kind of helpful. It kind of keeps me more focused on that as well.
Okay, how about you, Vito?
Can you hear me or not really?
Yeah. I know you're muted with your daughter, but that's fine. I can hear you now.
Cool. So this is my planner. This is what I use. It's Best Self Planner.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I've got. But it doesn't matter what planners we have, so long as we use them and we find them effective, and it keeps us driving forward for sure.
I like let's say if I have lazy weekend, I don't need to turn 2 pages and feel myself very bad that I haven't done anything for 2 days.
Hey,
but I need to teach myself to plan correctly as well. So it's just when you are one-man band, I don't know. It's like I need to generate good posts, and I need to contact everything, and it's just too much sometimes. It's getting too much. I try to do at least post every other day on Facebook, So for me, that works the best now that I find out to make an awareness even better than the Facebook page. It's Instagram. So I was big big fan of Facebook when I started, and it helped me a lot. But it cost me a lot of money, and I wasted a lot of money as well because ads not always works. You know how it is. So I spent money that I shouldn't and I didn't have. Anyway, coming back to Instagram, the best thing that works for me now, it's Instagram stories. And when I do Instagram, that's my good secret now. When you do Instagram stories, I always put the location tag. So automatically your story will go onto, let's say, you put London, I don't know, London is probably even too much. When I put my little town in,
yeah.
So if someone's chilling on Instagram and flicking through, let's say, Whitney stories, so from my session, I would do live story from my session, asking my members how we feel. So let's say, oh, what do you think about Waste for Soul? It's like they say amazing. So and straight away I put tag like hashtag Waste for Soul. We make fitness fun, and then I put the location, and then I do like 3 or 4 videos asking for like just filming like good work, like game-based warm-up game, like papers, rock, scissors. And then I will do a one like how it's called that word. So just asking them how they feel, and then another game, and then asking them how they feel. And I put a location tag on every single of them. So let's say in Whitney it would be like 20 stories with the hashtags, and 4 of them would be already mine. So it spreads awareness, and it's like it builds up. Before I used to get like probably 100 views, which is only the Instagram story stays only 24 hours. Now I'm getting like up to 400 views, and people are contacted me not so often like through Instagram, but the thing is like more and more people finds out, like I get followers every day on Instagram that I would never get. And Instagram works very well, I noticed, with women. So men mostly is Facebook, but Instagram is maybe mostly for females, and which is what I'm targeting. So it's quite good.
Yeah, look, for you, certainly Instagram makes a total sense because, as you say, primarily in my experience, there's more females on there, or certainly more engagement from females, for sure. But no, that's interesting, and it's a good share on the Instagram stories and the location on that point. But yeah, the key on there, and it's interesting what you say, Vito. I've made a note because I'll look at helping build out some content to help on setting targets, goals, and so on and so forth, and managing time effectively, so that we become more effective. We don't want to be more busy. We just want to be more productive, more efficient, I guess, in getting things done. Right, as Bill is doing here, daily step 6. I'm a big believer in personal development and spending time, reading. It might be an article, it might be a magazine that's relevant. It might be listening to a podcast or an audio book or CD, or reading. For me, it's reading a book, and I'll look to read about 10 pages a day if I can, because that translates roughly on average to about 12 business books, 12 to 20 depending on the size of the business books a year, which is significant. But the key again is that we're busy. There's a lot of things we need to do, so we need to don't spend all day reading, and not that we have time to. But obviously, again, consistency and having that time blocked out on that side. Vito, what's your personal choice? Is it listening or reading?
I prefer listening. So let's say when I like doing something at home, in the morning, always school rush and everything. So like if I'm in kitchen making breakfast, because everyone has to have a breakfast. And then I go to the shower, so I listen. So I always listen to audiobook in the shower. I have little Bluetooth speaker that I use in my boot camps also. So I use the speaker now indoors. So I'm listening to audiobook all the time. So I take it to the kitchen while I do my always like house routine, to the shower. So I would listen, I don't know, it would be at least half an hour of audiobook.
Oh, wow. Okay. And how about you, Nigel?
Yeah, a bit of both actually. Yeah, I have the Audible as well, so I have a couple of books on that, and then I have some books that I just read as well. So I kind of find a combination of both is good.
I do too.
Yeah, during the day, I just kind of, if I'm in the house and stuff like that during the day, I'll just listen to the audiobook, and generally at night time I try and make about 10 or 20 minutes before I go to bed just to read a bit before I go to bed as well.
Cool. So yeah, the key personal development has to be a daily strategy that we look to take. We're a little late getting our newsletters out this month because I was under the weather earlier on in the month, but you'll see one of the articles when you get them. You should get them today, tomorrow, hopefully. Is about the Miracle Morning, the book that I followed, and I utilised their strategies in there. So that might be one way of getting some system in place for you, Vito, for sure. But daily step has to be looking at personal development as well. So they were the daily 6. The weekly 6, because generally they're bigger tasks. The first one up is writing a blog post. If you've got the capacity to do more, fantastic. If you've got the capacity that you can only do less, maybe it's once a fortnight, but you make it a great post, which of course it should be, then hey, that's fine. That's a great starting point, because again, if we're consistent in our approach that it's every fortnight, and as we're able to leverage and scale more, and then it might become every week, then we're getting good content out there, and with the right optimization, with nice headline, some good photos, and the power of using a platform like WordPress with Yoast SEO is that we can get our posts optimized relatively easy so that they can be found organically. We can, of course, then take our blog posts and add them to Facebook and so on and so forth to drive traffic to our website to read those posts, and making sure that we've got a call to action at the bottom of the blog post enables us to capture more contact details. Second one is a newsletter. Now that might be as ours. We've got our print newsletter, but I know if I think back in the day, mine was an email newsletter that went out to my client base, and I used to have a weekly one. I also did like an abridged version, a bulletin at the end of each month, which would cover maybe the client of the month, a particular video that we wanted to focus on, almost like a here's what you might have missed over the course of the month. So newsletters are good, and of course recording. Certainly for social media these days, videos are primary importance. So we want to be looking at getting good video content. If we can do more, again, fantastic. But what we're really looking at doing is, again, being consistent in getting these assets up onto YouTube, up onto Facebook, up onto Instagram, and up onto our websites, so that we've got video there, which again goes a step above just the written word. We're able to, and hey, I don't need to preach to you, Vito. You're a king. You're a master at these videos now, with showing the energy, the fun, the community within your classes, which is going to appeal to people when you're looking to build awareness, and that.
Just one thing to say. I notice, let's say if I do live video, I get more viewers on live on Instagram. So I don't know why, but Instagram looks like sending better notification that you are live than Facebook.
Okay, interesting to learn.
It's like, I don't know, if you do Facebook live videos, Facebook's supposed to be sending notifications to people who like the page. And I don't know, it's not that good as Instagram. So if I do Instagram video, I would get more like live watching people who are watching you live. Just a small thing. Probably it's related to new Facebook policies or something like that.
How about you, Nigel? Do you do much video?
Not that much actually. I probably need to do a little bit more.
I would suggest.
I kind of went through it off myself.
Okay. Sorry, there was a break up there. Sorry for butting in. For you, I would say that's a great way of building awareness of what you're up to. Because if you're in the gym and you're videoing yourself or videoing a client while you're doing things, then that's going to build awareness of what you're up to. People are going to see that and think, "Oh, hang on, what are they up to?" So it's a good way of making people aware of you for sure.
Sorry, Andrew, the last minute or so just dropped there.
I was saying for you, in the gym environment, doing video would be, I feel, primary importance, because it's going to make people aware. It's going to generate attention of what's he up to, and if they see you doing a video or you talking somebody through a particular exercise, or talking about the power in nutrition or some health related topic, then they're going to notice you. And if you're consistent in that, then people are going to start approaching you, asking you questions, and that's where you can add them to your list, etc.
Yeah. Cool.
The final 3 steps, I'm just mindful about time here, are on the weekly tasks. Number 4 is ask for referrals. So with referrals, we've discussed this a little earlier, about the challenges we have. I always look at the EAR principle. To get a referral, we first have to earn it. That's the E. And we earn it through, building trust, delivering good value, showing that we care with our clients. So, we get to earn that, and of course, the results that we help people achieve. The next one, which we're pretty good at, but not also, is asking. That's the A, because again, we don't want to be seen as being pushy or whatever, but there's a way of asking it. And the way I used to look at it is, let's say I was training client Helen, and Helen is doing she's achieved some fantastic results. I might be saying, "Hey, look, Helen, I'm really pleased with the progress we've made, particularly over these last 7 or 8 weeks. I love working with you. You're the ideal type of client for me. And I've actually got a couple of spaces I've opened up to take on more clients. So if I was to ask you which of your friends would benefit from this style of training, and you would be interested to have them join us for a trial session, who would that person be?" So I'm asking her to think of her friends, as opposed to asking for, do you know of anybody who might be interested? So they might say, "Oh yeah, actually Sarah was saying when we were out for cocktails last Thursday night that she's looking for someone. Would you mind if I brought her along?" So we're guiding them to think of the person that might be an ideal candidate, as opposed to asking and them trying to think, being put on the spot and not sure who or what to approach. Step 5, I mentioned earlier, was making phone calls. And if the more phone calls we can make, goes in line with the unexpected cards. Even it could be a 2-minute call to a client. It could be reaching out to an ex-client, just say, "Hey, I was only thinking of you. I spotted in the papers that about I don't know, tightness in the quads, and I've downloaded and we're going to ping over to you a report which will help if that was an issue that they had." Or just asking how they are, just reaching out. That goes a long way. It's unexpected, and who knows where that conversation might lead. At the very least, you've become top of mind awareness with them, so that they might think, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, I need to get my backside back into gear. Actually, Nigel, do you have any room in your sessions? I'd like to get started again." Blah blah blah. Final one is obviously we're a business, so we want to sell. So keeping in mind that if we can make a sale a week, you know, consistency breeds success. You know, it might be only a small sale, but again, if we're at least selling at least one thing, then, you know, revenues crank up, and it gets us in that thing that we're looking to sell. So they're the 6 items for the weekly bits. But of course, I've put there we want more. So I'm going to quickly show you the tool which I'm going to share with you, and how we utilize it. So if I grab and I do a new share, I'll make it a wee bit bigger. So can you see that? I can't see Nigel, but can you see that, Vito?
Mm-hmm.
This is the scorecard, Nigel. This is the scorecard we use internally. So basically, it's got the instructions at the top, and I've got a Word document which I'll send over as well, which breaks down a bit more. But I've done it just on Monday to Friday. That's how we use it. By all means, adapt it accordingly how you want to. In the first half, left-hand pane, I've got the daily 6. It's actually 7 of 1A and 1B. I've added birthday in there as a thing, and then over here I've got the weekly 6. Now they've each given points. So as I've outlined earlier, so new contacts. If I had picked a new contact, so I've got 3, so that's 3 points. If I sent out a birthday card, let's say I sent out 2 birthday cards, that's 2 points each, so that's 4. Let's say I did a 1 post, and that was it that day. You can see at the bottom it's adding up the daily totals. And then again, if I did, let's say I did 7, I'm just putting numbers in here. And maybe I did an education piece there. Then that's personal development, so should be doing that daily. So you can see how the scores add up, and they get transferred over into the daily total here. And then on our weekly, let's say we did a blog post this week, and we did a video that went on to Facebook, and maybe I made 5 phone calls, and I made 2 sales. You can see here that it's done my weekly total, added to my daily total, and it's given me a total for this imaginary week that I've just quickly pinged in of 49 out of 75. So I've set the gauge at 75 that we're looking to try and attain. If we're below that, certainly if we're below 60, then I think we need to try harder. If we're 60 and above, then 60 is good, but I'm aiming to get that 75, because I know that to get that, we've filled in a significant portion of this, and consistently doing this week in, week out means that you're going to generate awareness, you're working on your business, and you're interacting with your target audience so much more. Does that make sense? Can you understand the processes there? What I'm going to do, I'll upload this and I'll share it so that everybody can have a play around with it. By all means, look, if there's ways of improving it, or you want to tweak it slightly to make it fit you more so, then great. But this is what we use, and I'll look at trying to, Nicky's trying to beat me, I'm trying to beat him on the scores. So obviously, as solopreneurs, you're looking to try and beat each week, or as I say, if you're willing to share, we can post within the inner circle as well to see who's generating the most, and from that, what results are they getting from that? Are they getting more people inquiring? Are they getting more leads? Are they building their list more? Are they making more sales? So it's a little scorecard that we've got that we use on that side of things. Okay.
Just one question. What about the slides? Where can I find them? Like,
I'll be putting them into the I'll put the link up in the membership. I'm gonna, because this is recorded. I'll upload the recording into our member site, and in Facebook in the inner circle I'll put the link then to these so you can download them. Or as you two have been able to jump on the call, you get rewarded. I'll email these bits to you as well, so that you're not having to search. So we'll look to do that. Okay. Any questions on this today, guys?
Don't think so.
Look, have a play when you've got them. Have a look at them. Any questions on it, send me an email, andrew@lifestyle180.co.uk, or, as I say, in the inner circle, post a question. We can look to address that. But as I say, it's relatively straightforward. It's a bit of fun, but it's highly effective as well, because I can see at a glance. Let's say today I haven't done anything to generate new contacts, so it pushes me to do that. I've not done a social media post or whatever it might be. So just I print them out and I have them close to hand, so that I can write it in, and then I'll add it to the online version then, to keep it updated. And then the end of each week, I look to share it with Nicky so that we can compare scores and see who the weekly winner is on that side. But thanks for joining us today. I'll get these over to you both by email. And as I say, any questions, just give us a shout, okay?
All right, cheers, Andrew.
Cool. All right, guys. Cheers, mate. See you soon, guys. And thanks again for joining us today. Bye for now.
All right. See you, bye.